What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, it's an entertainer or rapper or some sort. I'm not exactly familiar with who this young man is. Y'all may know him better than me. He has a Twitter handle by the name of PontiacMadeDDG, right? So he put out a tweet to the world. It was all over the shade room, and they got people talking. And I wanted to just analyze everything that he said. So he put out this tweet and it said, if you broke, it's 100% your fault, right? It's your fault that you broke. Making money is easier than ever these days. You just lazy as F. You lazy as F-U-C-K, and you too comfortable, right? So after he tweeted this to the world, someone then asked that young man, would you tell your mother that it was her fault that y'all had to boil water to take baths, right? Would you tell your mother it was her fault that y'all had to boil water to take baths? He then says, that was 10 years ago. My mama just made 30K off Snapchat by herself. All the money on your phone, you NIGGAs, just lazy and undetermined, right? So I looked at this tweet and all I could think about it's so weird and strange to me how dudes get a little bit of money. They get a little taste of paper and forget how hard it was for them to come up. Forget how hard it was for them to make out. And talk down to the working class people who they were once in the same position as, right? They were once working class people or once poor people, and they get on a high horse and get on a pedestal and talk down to all the people that's working, trying to make a living just day by day, working their ass off, trying to work, just trying to make it every single day. They get to the top and start talking down to them folks. And it's just clown-like behavior to me. Clown-like behavior, especially when those same individuals who were once poor, they get to a certain type of level of success and they preach or talk to us about how humble they were and they grind to the top, right? How humbling the process was for them and how humble they were to the ground, how humble they were on their grind to the top. Then they get to the top and talk down to the same folks that were just in the same position they was in, calling them lazy. When I've seen people who were struggling really, really bad, struggling to make ends meet. I've seen those same people work 2 jobs day and night in order to make a better situation for them and their kids and still come out at the end of the day basically the same, still not in a good position, still struggling to pay rent, still struggling to pay their utilities, still struggling to pay school fees after working 2 jobs, right? Now that don't sound like laziness to me at all. They putting in a hard-earned sweat equity, right? Working around the clock, getting babysitters for their kids, so on and so forth. Working day and night, rarely getting sleep, rarely spending time with their children, sacrificing personal time with their kids in order to try to get a better life, and they still struggle to get it. So where's this laziness come from? Like, for real, I've seen poor people work their ass off, literally work their ass off all the time, and still struggling to even climb out of that situation. Right, so it's just very ignorant for him to say, like I'm like, damn, people are really that disconnected. When they get rich, they become disconnected to the average person and act like just getting rich and getting money is just the easiest thing in the world. Let me remind y'all, everybody don't have the same type of skill set. Everybody don't have the same type of resources. Everybody don't have the same type of connections, right? So while he may be an individual that made a lot of money off YouTube or whatever, I recognize that everybody is not extremely charismatic. Everybody not comfortable talking to people. Everybody not some people have speech impediments and so on and so forth where they can't relay their messages as comfortable as other people. So it hinders them from getting the same type of money in the same arena that you got it in. Everybody ain't social media savvy, so on and so forth. Some people just good with their hands and trying to make a living that way. And they still working their ass off day and night, busting their ass all the time and still are out here struggling. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that laziness does not correlate to the amount of money in your bank account or in your pocket. Because if it did, the same people that's working in sweatshops, the same people that's working in factories and farms would be some of the richest people in the world. Because they for damn sure ain't lazy. Right? They sweating more than anybody that I know. They out there losing 10 pounds a day. Just out here putting in the hard work, sweat dripping off their forehead. Just to try to make ends meet for their family and have their family living good. So that ain't lazy. You know that ain't lazy. You sweating like that, that ain't lazy by any stretch of the imagination. Right? But they getting it the way that they can. They getting it in the honest way that they can. Everybody ain't social media savvy. Everybody don't have this type of charm to galvanize a group of people to follow them and follow their lead on certain things, and just everybody don't have the ability to be a social media sensation or social media influencer in order to drive in revenue. right? And people kill me acting like they don't understand that. Acting like they ain't come from where they came from, man. Like, and look, case in point, it's people working at Amazon who work harder than 85 to 90% of these rappers out here. People working at Amazon getting shin splits. Like, I mean, they back is sore every single day. Their feet killing them. And they working overtime, pushing in hard, grown folk shifts. And I'm talking about it's kids, 19, 20 years old, working at Amazon, working their ass off, right? Just to try to get it good. And they still ain't able to really do everything that they want to do comfortably. It's so funny to me, man. I promise y'all, it's crazy how people who were once poor get to the top and they obtain this elitist mentality that they criticize all the other capitalists in the world. They criticize them for having this elite mentality and you know, they're elitist. They don't give black folks opportunities, so on and so forth. And then here we are again. We got a black dude talking down to black folks, telling them they just lazy and they need to get off their ass. And if you want to be rich, get off your ass and get off your lazy ass. Your ass just lazy. That's why you ain't rich. Your ass just lazy. Because that's what it sounds like he's saying, talking to folks, right? Talking down to working class people, that ain't cool. Because that's your audience in the first place. You abandoning your audience, talking shit about people that's working hard, man. And furthermore, too, in regards to this young man's mother making $30,000 off Snapchat, his mother only made that bread because of her son's status. She wouldn't have made that if her son wasn't who he is in the first place, right? She got that bread off her son's name. And again, it's a lot easier to make money when you have resources or you are connected to the plug to get to that bread. Her son is the plug in this situation, so of course she's making revenue because that's her son. She is her son's mama, and he put in a word, and he making her name popping to where she can get that money and be looked at in a certain type of limelight. She connected to the resources, so it's easy for her to make bread. If I went out here and I had a relationship, or my brother was one of these big time social media influencers, all he got to do is shout my name out, and at the drop of a dime, I got 100,000 subscribers by the morning, right? So it's easy to make money at that point, man. Like, this young man got to remember that his story is not going to be everybody else's. Everyone has different circumstances, different skills, and abilities that can alter their ability to drive in revenue. His experience does not represent the majority at all. And I think he needs to realize that too, man. Structural inequities are a very real thing. It's a real thing in this world, man. People act like it's not, you know? And then you got people who have the attitude of this young man, who get to the top, and when they get into their position of success, they have the knowledge to help another brother out or another sister out, but they will never be willing to share this information, all because they want all the bread to themselves, all the money to themselves, right? And then get up to the top and tell people you lazy, that's why you ain't rich. No, you ain't trying to, you know, tell other people how to get to these resources and connect them to the same type of resources you had, because you stingy and you greedy. You just want to be at the top pointing the finger at folks, talking down at folks and telling them how much of a bum they are, how broke they are, how much ain't shit they are, and all this and all that, man. I'll be tired of all these celebrities getting bread and then trying to talk down on folks that's working class, that's working hard. Same thing Lil Duval did when he went out there and told other people, if you a man and you got a roommate, and if you 30 years old and you got a roommate, you a clown, or you like basically talking down, you should be embarrassed, you should be ashamed, when he was talking about his come up and how he was living with other comedians and so on and so forth, right? So it sounds like, bro, how are you hypocritical like that? Lil Duval talking all that, making people feel bad about their personal life, man, and all this and all that, but then got them same people he clowning, want them to come to his shows and support him. You see how backwards that is, man? Like, people don't let these celebrities make you think your life is worthless and you ain't got it, and your life is not meaningful, and you ain't doing nothing with your life, and you should be ashamed of yourself or thinking down about yourself at all, because these celebrities will send people off, man. People gotta humble themselves, man, because you can find, like, 1 minute, you can be up 1 minute for real. And then a couple weeks later, you can find yourself in the same situation as the people you looking down on, right? The people you looking down upon, you could be in the same situation as them in a matter of a couple of weeks. Seriously, it can happen just like that, man. Humble yourself before life does it for you. And this young man, what's his name? PontiacMadeDDG, DDG or whatever. He talking like this. He sounds just like these elitist dudes that get into these little country clubs or whatever and get that, or get off my yard and pick yourself up by the bootstraps and all this and all of that. Brother, everybody's skill set is not the same. So everybody ain't gonna be rich, man. Laziness does not correlate to how much money you got. Because it's people that work their ass off day and night, working in IHOP, waiting tables, all this working in factories, all this and all that, and they ain't got the same type of bread as a person that's just clicking buttons and all this and all that. Everybody ain't charismatic in front of a camera. Everybody don't talk good in front of a camera. Everybody ain't interesting enough to draw in a crowd or whatever for social media. Everybody don't know how to edit, so on and so forth. But so to talk down on folks because they ain't getting it the way you getting it, like, bro, get the hell up out of here, bro. That's some clown shit to me, man. For real. Like, I can't stand celebrities, once again, that run to the internet and social media, and they run to social media to bash poor people. Like, what the hell poor folks did to you but pay for your tickets and put money in your damn pocket? What the hell poor folks did to you that you come up here talking crazy, all these, like, it's clown shit, man. Like, it's aggravating and it irks me to the core. It just shows a lot of people that at the core of y'all are not really good people, because all that humility you was talking about and your ascension to the top and how humble you were, all of it go out the window when you get a little success, when you get a little bit of paper. Now you want to act like you don't know what nobody. Now you all that is all out the window now. You don't know nothing about no humility now. Now you want to talk down on folks and all this and all that. It shows your character, who you are as a person, and how flawed you are as an individual. And at that point, people ain't gonna want to rock with you. At that point, they realize, oh nah, man, this dude is an arrogant asshole, right? He think cause he rich and everybody ain't, and he think down upon everybody else that ain't getting money like he is. If you ain't getting the bag, I can't be around your ass. All that ignorant shit, you know what I'm saying? And he not realizing it was somebody at some point that looked at him with disgust and disdain because he wasn't getting no money. Now, by the grace of God and his abilities, he was able to change that, but everybody's circumstances is not different. Your story ain't gonna be everybody else's story, and people are ignorant not to recognize that, man. I just don't like celebrities that try to talk from a high vantage point and talk down on folks like talk down to folks, talk down to folks like they peons or peasants. You know what I mean? It's just, that's when I can never stand for that at all, man. Like, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Like the video, comment, leave comments in the video, donate to the channel. I'm going to put my Cash App in the comments, y'all, and share the video as well. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.